Kevin, thank you so much for taking the time to sit with me and chat. Could you explain what it is that you do?
Sure. My name is Kevin Smith. I am the owner of a company called Best of Care, and we are first and foremost a home care provider. So we deliver in-home care to thousands of clients across Massachusetts every week. And additionally, we have some other service lines that we've sort of diversified into. We also offer care management. So we help families with care planning, long-term care planning, managing assets and financial assets to make sure that we can keep people where they want to be or age where they want to be appropriately based on their current needs and future considerations. We also have a private nursing team. So our registered nurses can help deliver some skilled care in the home above and beyond what our home care team can do. And most recently, we acquired a move management company. And so we now offer move management. And really what that looks like is help with packing, unpacking, relocation, estate planning in terms of cataloging of assets, managing the donations, the hauling out of items, and really getting you ready end to end, floor planning, downsizing, right sizing, so that if you do need to move from one home to a community or anywhere else, we can help you take all of the stress and all of that planning out of your hands and sort of into our purview.
Wow, it's a lot of pieces. How did you fall into this work?
It is a lot. Serendipity mostly. I did not grow up planning to be a home care professional. Mm-hmm. I am just a history major who, when I graduated from college, I was pretty unsure, like most of us, about what we're going to do or what we even want to do or what we're interested in. And I decided to work at my father's company, which was a home care company that he had started in 1981.
Wow.
So by that point, 2007, I just joined because I needed a job. He had never encouraged me to work there, like never compelled in any way, didn't know much about it, took a flyer on it, and I haven't left. I'm still there 18 years later.
Amazing. And how was that first year of you joining the company?
Well, let's see. I was working with my father, living at home with my parents, sometimes commuting to and from, having dinner with them. So it was just like, I went from being in college, coming home, and then just being like totally immersed where every angle of my life was just like family stuff going on. But in many ways, it actually was pivotal and crucial in shaping where I am today, because I started out by doing like every menial task you can do at a job or a company, with paperwork, hiring people, checking work references, background checks, sometimes filling in and going into clients' homes and helping with like grocery shopping or whatever it took. And so I kind of learned really almost every aspect of the job, so that as I progressed and learned more and started hiring people, I at least had the chops or the bona fides to say, yeah, I've done this too. Mm-hmm. And that sort of way that I learned how to do this job and grew up within it has actually been a real difference maker in the way that I can relate to every single person who works at our company.
That's fascinating, because you've seen every nook and cranny of the business. So
Correct.
You know it like the back of your hand.
Correct.
I hear a lot from people who grow up with families who have a business, and it can go either way. It can either propel you into the family business, or they want nothing to do with it. What has kept you around for so long?
So our family business is pretty tight knit insofar as it was my dad who started it, me who joined it, and really just the two of us involved, with, you know, a few exceptions along the way where I've had some aunts, some cousins, and people working in various capacities for, you know, short stretches of time or bursts of time while they're in between other phases of their life. But really the closeness between me and my dad of going through it all together, ups and downs, has sort of mitigated any of that more classic version of family business stress that you hear about with lots of siblings. And it's certainly not Succession, you know,
Sure.
At its most extreme example. It's certainly not that. And it's been actually a really enjoyable sort of ride to take together.
Yeah, and what a journey it is to take on with your father, right? Like memories that you couldn't craft, and you'll be able to look back on this and be like, yeah, I had a really good time with my dad.
Yeah, and honestly, it makes me wonder, had I not done it, what would my relationship with him and my family look like without this? Because it's become such like this core foundational piece of our individual identities, but also our togetherness as father and son and family, that this company has given our family a lot.
Yeah.
And given a lot of other families a lot too, I like to think.
For sure. I mean, you work with so many different families. Are there any stories that stand out that remind you why this work is so important?
Oh, there's lots, right? I mean, we've helped tens of thousands of people, individual clients and their families over the years. A couple that stick out to me are multi-generational families who we have started caring for a parent, and then within a couple of years, the person who made that original call, the adult child of that client, is now calling us because they need help for themselves, and they want to make sure that the person who was taking care of dad is the same person that they have. So we'll even see some of our home health aides or caregivers work with multiple generations of a family, and then see it sort of like family tree spider out into a spouse of that person, and maybe that person has then a neighbor. And so it's sort of like this butterfly effect of these relationships and referrals that we get just by nature of the goodwill of the type of service that we provide to people.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Transitioning from being a healthy adult to then needing care, it must be really difficult for most families, right? I don't think anybody wants to get older and need help. What sort of hope can you instill in families during the transitional period like this?
Well, the one thing that we really don't do is overpromise anything other than, well, a couple of things that we like to try and really make good on in terms of what we say that we can do for a family is sometimes it's just as simple as allowing someone to get up and go to work without having to worry about husband, wife, mom, dad, sibling, because in many ways with those of us who have children or families, and you have to be there at all times if you get a call from the school or sports, a lot of that applies to taking care of our older generations too and our parents, and being able to know that someone is in good hands, receiving safe, quality, sort of well-managed and supervised care is a huge peace of mind. And it keeps society going. Everybody's got to get up and go to work one way or another. So certainly that. And then on a more sort of like personal level is making sure that people just have the dignity to go about their day. Some people need assistance with getting up, taking a shower, taking a med, eating. Other people need total hands-on 24/7 care. Regardless of what you need, we're going to make sure that you still feel like a person and that you still have your preferences, your personality, your identity, and make sure that we're always promoting those things when we're in your home, in your most vulnerable, intimate place, and caring for you.
I love that. And how does Tendercare fit into all of this?
So the way that Tendercare fits into what our company does and where we want to go is actually a pretty synergistic sort of relationship. When I started to learn about Tendercare, several light bulbs went off to me. When I found out that Tendercare was really motivated to put the full package of information about a family or a family member or a loved one in the hands of a first responder, a doctor, someone who could quickly get that information and do something appropriate with it, I realized, wow, I've got all these families that I work with. Imagine if they had, very simple, imagine if they just had access to this ID, this thing that we can keep in their home so that if there's an emergency, someone can immediately come in and figure out how to give them the best possible treatment, care, or get them to the best possible place to get it. Yeah. And there's this overlap immediately between the volume of people that we serve and the population of people who would benefit from Tendercare, that you're coming together in a moment of crisis or vulnerability where people need help for a loved one. I can be in that trusted network as a provider of services. Yeah. Similarly, if my clients need to be better organized with their information, their medical history, their emergency contacts, this is a very low stakes, easy, low friction thing to put in front of them. And you can view it, you can hold it physically, tangibly, put it on an app on your phone, however you like to get your information, it's right there for you. So it was sort of it was just really easy connection to draw for me.
Yeah. How did Tendercare come onto the radar for you?
The relationship started when Tendercare announced their partnership with assisted living locators. So in addition to Best of Care and that company and its services that I talked about a few minutes ago, I also own a few assisted living locators franchises throughout New England. And when I was on that webinar, listening to Shauna introduce Tendercare, and then I started to go through the process of trying to become part of the Tendercare network, I just reached out separately and said, I think a separate conversation is in order here, because my businesses occupy 4 or 5 of the categories that Tendercare represents. And so it didn't take long after that until I was working more closely with Shauna and the team, and now here I am talking to you today. So it's a really natural sort of fit between assisted living locators, helping people identify the right place that they can go or have a family member go if they need to relocate, and also connecting them with communities who would benefit from Tendercare. So it's a holistic connection.
Yeah, I love it. Last question. You speak so eloquently and fluently about this sector, about this field. If you had to think about young Kevin first stepping into the business to where you are now, what do you think is the number one lesson that you've learned in all of this?
The number one lesson that I have learned in all of this is stay confident in yourself. And it took me a really, really, really long time. We all struggle with it still, right? But starting in this industry as a 23-year-old kid, basically, man, in an industry that at the time, I didn't have any peers. Like when I looked around or went to conferences, went to events, went to business meetings, there was no other version of me there to connect with. And so what I've done is basically hired a team of people who've come up with me, and I now have peers who have either worked with me or friends I've met along the way. But it took me a long time to learn how to be confident, not only working with older people and getting them to actually take me seriously based on my age and my credentials at that point in time, but also earning the respect of the people who I was doing business with, other colleagues. And once you can find a way to speak confidently, present yourself in a way with, some polish, and understand that you're going to do what you say and speak intentionally, that confidence can grow. But it's something I'm still working on.
Yeah, I love that. Cool. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.